All right, today we're going to be talking about area of composite figures. What is a composite figure, you might ask? Well, a composite figure is a combination of simple figures that are in disguise. To find the area of a composite figure, what we're going to do is separate it into figures with areas that we know. Then we're going to find those areas. Then we're going to add each of the areas up to find the total area. So in example 1, we can see that we have a hexagon. It is a 6-sided object. We can see that all the sides are 5.7 centimeters long. Okay. We can see that the total diameter of the hexagon is 9.6 centimeters. And the height of half of the hexagon is 4.4 centimeters. Now we don't know the formula for the area of a hexagon, but what we can do is split this into 2 trapezoids, which we now know the area of. Well, we can find the area of, because we know that this base right here is 9.6 centimeters. We know that the perpendicular height is 4.4 centimeters, and we know that the second base is 5.7 centimeters. So we're going to go ahead and show our work. Area equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. Now we're going to plug in what we know. Area equals 5.7 plus 9.6 times 4.4 divided by 2. Once I go ahead and solve that, I'm going to find that the area equals 33.66 centimeters squared. Now I have to be careful because that is the area of one of the trapezoids, but there's 2 of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and multiply that by 2, and we're going to find a total area of our composite figure to be 67.32 centimeters squared. And that right there is going to be our final answer. Okay? All right, moving on to example number 2. Example number 2 is a floor plan. Okay? Looks like a big L. We know that this length is 12 feet, this length is 18 feet, and this other side is 30 feet. Well, we can verify that because 12 plus 18 equals 30. Okay? Now, we know that this top length is 30 feet. We know that this bottom length is 12 feet. So what is this length going to be? Well, let's ask ourselves, what is 30 minus 12? 30 minus 12 is 18. Therefore, this length right here is 18 feet. Now, there's a couple different ways to split this up. I may decide to split my rectangles like this, okay? You may decide to split your rectangles the opposite way. So you may decide to put your line here. Know that whichever way you do it, you're still going to get the correct answer, okay? So we're going to find the area of both of these small shapes. We're going to start with our formula. Area of a parallelogram is base times height. So we're going to take the area equals a base of 12 and a height of 30, which leaves us with an area of 360 feet squared. Next, we'll find the area of this small rectangle here. Again, using the area formula, area equals base times height. In this case, we've got area equals 18 times 12, which gives us an area of 216 feet squared. Now to find our composite area, we're going to go ahead and add those 2 together. 360 feet squared plus 216 feet squared. And we get a total area of 576 feet squared. Okay, oh, that is a very messy 5. 576 feet squared. All right, moving on. Whoops, wrong page. Let's try one that's a little bit more difficult. Okay, example number 3 is similar to example number 1, except there's a little bit more to this composite shape, okay, or composite figure. We've got a top length of 12.2 meters, okay? If we move down here to the bottom, we know that this is 1 meter, this is 4.6 meters, so we have to ask ourselves, if this whole distance has to be 12.2, okay, if this is 1 and this is 4.6, what is this going to be? Well, we can go ahead and solve that right now. That should be 6.6 meters, okay? Now, if we look height-wise, we know that this height is 11.8 meters. We know that this height is 2.3 meters. This height is 3.1 meters, which means that this height over here has to be 6.4 meters. Okay, now we want to split up our composite figure. I'm going to go ahead and split mine up this way, but again, you can split yours up a different way and you can still get the same answer. Why don't you go ahead and try this one on your own, finding the area. I'm going to list the answer right down here, and you can come back and check your answers as soon as you're ready, okay? I will also list a detailed answer key on the back board so that you can check your answers back there in detail if you wish. Go ahead and pause the video and then come back and check your answer. Okay, all right, moving on to the next problem. This is more of an irregular composite figure, okay? In looking at this, we know that this base is congruent with this side. So if this is 20 centimeters, this is also 20 centimeters, okay? Now in looking at this, there's a couple ways that I can split this up. I can split this up into a rectangle and a trapezoid this way, or a square and a trapezoid this way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to split this up into a square and a trapezoid. I know that this distance up here is 20 centimeters because the top is the same width as the base. I know that this height over here is 20 centimeters because this height is going to be the same height as the height on the right. Well, if this is 20 centimeters and this whole thing together is 24 centimeters, then that means this top part has to be 4 centimeters. Okay, now I can go ahead and find the area of the trapezoid, find the area of the square, add them together, and get my total composite area. Again, why don't you pause the video and come back when you're ready to check your answer. Okay, all right. Coming to example 5, we're going to try this one together. What I want to try to find here, okay, is the area of this gray part in here, okay? So I want to find the area of this gray part. Now I've got a white square that's inside of the gray part, almost like a square donut, okay? What I need to do is I need to find the area of my gray square first. I noticed some congruency lines on here. And I know that the height of my square is 15 millimeters. Well, if the height of my square is 15 millimeters, then all sides of the square have to be 15 millimeters. Okay? So in order to find the area, I'm going to take the base times the height, which is 15 millimeters times 15 millimeters. That's going to get me a total area of my outside gray square of 225 millimeters squared. Okay, now I'm not done yet because remember that this whole outside square is not what I'm trying to find the area of. I'm just trying to find the area of the gray ring, okay? Which means that the easiest way to do this is to find this total area and then to subtract the tiny area of the square in the middle. Well, the square in the middle also is a square, so it has 4 congruent sides. And I know that this square, all the side lengths are 5 millimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and find the area of that small square. area equals base times height, which means area equals 5 millimeters times 5 millimeters, which means that the area of the small square equals 25 millimeters squared. Okay, now to find this area of just the green section, I'm going to take the area of the total square together and subtract the inner part of my square that I'm removing or punching out. Okay, so I'm going to take 225 minus 25, which leaves me with an answer of 200 millimeters squared. This means that the gray section of my figure is 200 millimeters squared. All right, let's look over the next one. We're going to get you started, and then you're going to try it on your own. Jim is redoing his backyard. The dimensions of his backyard are 45 feet by 23 feet. If he is building 7 feet by 5 feet sandbox into the yard, how many square feet of soil does he need to cover the rest of the yard? Okay, so he's redoing his backyard. We know that the dimensions of the backyard are 45 by 23 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that. I'm going to draw that in green because backyards are usually green. 45 feet by 23 feet. Okay, now if he's building a 7 feet by 5 feet sandbox in the yard, so let's just say that this 7 by 5 foot sandbox is in here. This is 7 feet, this is 5 feet. Okay. Now we're trying to figure out how much soil do we need to cover the rest of this yard. Well, we're not going to put soil or dirt inside the sandbox. We're only going to put it outside and around the sandbox. Okay, you go ahead and try to find the area of this one. I'm going to list the answer right down here, so pause the video and come back when you're ready to check it. Again, if you get stuck, feel free to visit the back board to see a detailed answer key. All right, you should have gotten an answer of 1,000 feet squared. Okay, feel free to see me or see the answer key if you have any questions on your work or your answer. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.